So welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us on our OD Tools webinar. I think this is the third time, and this webinar is on team development and Teamwork Big Five questionnaire. My name is Ildikó Csősz, and I'm head of business at Valoro Consulting in Hungary. We are one of the partners of OD Tools, and it's really a pleasure to be hosting this session. I'd like now to hand over things to Gábor Nagy, founder and managing director of OD Tools, who most of you, I think, already know quite well. Over to you, Gábor.
Thank you very much, Ildikó. And I warmly welcome everybody who is present here today, or the people who are going to watch the recording in the future. And today we are going to talk about teams. And our agenda is I'm going to introduce our company first, a little bit what we're doing. Okay, so odtools.com, we are developers of psychometric tools and also have 360 feedback tools and surveys like the team survey. And we also provide user training and support. And these global webinars are part of this user training and support. This was initiated by our community. And every month we are going to share some insights about our tools. And for every session, we will have one or even more users who will share their perspectives. odtools.com, we are a virtual company headquartered in Berlin, and we are operating globally. And we have a network of partners in many countries who add additional localization and local support services. And today, my co-speaker will be C.G. Ng, the founder and executive director of Directions Consulting, who is active in China and Singapore, and also in other countries of Southeast Asia. A little bit more about our tools and what OD tools can provide to HR teams, consultants, coaches, team coaches, anybody who is developing organizations. We provide tools that can help measure the human factors, the intangibles, things that are not so easy to quantify. And you can use this data for data-driven interventions. And we have tools to support that on the organization level. So ODMAP is an organizational effectiveness survey. And then we can also have interventions on this mid-level, on the team level. This will be the topic for today. And we can also work with individuals, behavioral competencies with 364 leaders and for non-managers, and psychometrics to work deep with individuals. So I'd like to hand over the stage to CJ, who is going to talk about the benefits of using team surveys in team development. Over to you, CJ.
Oh, thank you, Gábor. Before I officially start, may I invite you just key in whichever location you are in at the moment. If you can pinpoint or a city or even a township that are in, type into the chat box, and we'd just like to see how, where are you from? So I'm going to type mine. Right, Manila, right. I'm in Nanchang right now. Shanghai, okay, Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh, I think. Right, Budapest, wow. Right, and the next question is, how do you work with teams? I'm assuming that everybody here work with teams one way or the other. So if you work with teams, are you a team member? Are you a team leader? Are you a team coach or facilitator? So if you could just key in, what's your role in a team normally, right? Are you a team member, team leader, team coach, or anything else? Team facilitator, right? Thank you, Joe. Team coach and facilitator, yeah. Anyone team building? I forgot about team building. Anyone who likes to do outdoor team building, getting people to do um, very strenuous activities as a team, as in you sweat together, you suffer together. Project leader, thank you, Maria. Right. And the next question is, since we're talking about the tool Teamwork Big Five, um, if you have worked with Teamwork Big Five, the survey tool, press 1. If you have heard about it but have not used it, press 2. If you have no idea what that we are talking about, press 3. Okay. Right. So yeah, we got a lot of people who have oh, Chin has used it. Thank you. Right. And Petra has used it as well. Great, thank you. So what I'm going to do is to just share one of the cases that I've worked with, and we have used Teamwork Big Five as part of our team coaching or team facilitation for this particular company. So we work with a company, German company, and of course with a lot of German manufacturing companies in China. A lot of the general managers are Germans, right? And there was a challenge 6 years ago. It's called COVID. And when COVID struck, the German GM was stuck in Germany and could not return back to China. So they have an issue to try to manage the team remotely. That is just 1/10 of the story. The thing is that the team in China has got two deputy general managers, not one but two. So it's like, okay, from a long-term perspective, they want to, from the two DGMs, select one of them to be the next general manager for ease of managing and for succession planning. Long story short, the two DGMs are kind of jostling and fighting one another to claim who has got a better way to lead the team. Eventually, one of the deputy general manager retired. The other one became the final GM. But because of the tussle, the internal conflicts and tensions, people are not too sure as in will this new GM or previously one of the deputy GMs view me as part of the clique of the other one, the one that lost out. Will How will the new GM gather everybody and focus on a new path, a new direction? And of course, because of the internal conflicts, a lot of people are quite concerned about sharing what's on their minds, how to move the team forward. And on top of all of these, because the post-COVID years are not exactly boom time, not exactly great economies, great times of great economy to work in. And as a result, uh, they have tough or strenuous targets to achieve as a team. So the GM, the newly promoted GM, has got to think about, firstly, how can I encourage everybody to speak authentically and work together and have an idea of things like what motivates them, how do we communicate with one another, what are issues about psychological safety. And once we've done that, how can we then assign ways or develop ways? How do we want to work together towards that very challenging targets? And although targets usually are done by the sales team, according to this GM, it's not just the sales that carries the targets, it's a team effort of all department heads that need to move in one direction, and they need to figure out how best to work with one another. Right. So in this context, there was infighting, and now they need to move in one direction. So we use Teamwork Big Five as a basis to find out what's on everybody's mind. What are some of the things that are working? What are some of the things that still need some addressing? And fortunately for this particular company, what we found is that the scores are on the higher side. Everybody has kind of turned the corner and are able to settling um, into the new leadership, into the newer roles, and are moving into the direction. The only thing is that they wish that if there could be better ways to motivate them, that if there could be better ways to uh, coordinate with one another, that sometimes can have some tensions or even some conflicts due to the way people communicate and coordinate. And because it's showing in the score, they will also want to map out, are there some norms to be set or some mutual contracting that they want to establish so that everybody knows one another's intentions in those kind of high pressure and high urgency kind of communication, and understand that when people are very direct, sometimes a little bit abrasive, it's because the work is very urgent and they need a quick response. It's nothing to do with what the other person is all about, and they want to establish that mutual understanding so that they can move on better as a team, right? And that the Teamwork Big Five highlighted some areas to be improved upon. Like I said, the scores are pretty good. There's some areas that needs to be further addressed. People can come to an understanding of what needs to be done within the teams. They're able to have an authentic and psychologically safe conversation with one another on how they would like to move the team forward. Right, so that's the use case that I have, and I hope that it's concise enough. And I'm gonna hand it over back to Gabor to see. Well, thank you, Tini. Thank you for your applause, and see what would we like to discuss further.
Thank you very much. I think from the example we can see that there can be, this is, for example, one of the situations when a company felt that we need to look at teamwork systematically. And there are so many angles where you can arrive to the team that you want to work with the teams as systems. And now I'm going to introduce the tool itself. And hopefully this will give you new insights. I'm going to talk about what is teamwork first, because you are working as team trainers, team facilitators, team coaches, and I'm sure if I ask you, everybody can say the definition of a team. Interdependent people are working together for a shared goal, or for some variation of this definition. It's clear. However, what is teamwork? It is not so easy to answer. And I'm going to give you a definite answer to this question today. And then why the Teamwork Big Five questionnaire? And there are other tools as well. What is special? What is interesting? Why is this tool significant? I will give you some reasons. And we'll also talk about a case and some resources about how to use it in team development. So this approach is for any team. It doesn't matter if it's a management team, which is quite typical. Is it a department which is acting as a team? Or is it a construction team working with construction tools out there on the field? Is it a software team that is coding some software solutions? Or is it a team of tribal huntsmen going out for a hunt? What we are talking about today is universal and applicable of any team. So this slide helps you to see that in teamwork, or what as teams produce results, there are work processes, and this is different depending on what the team does. So this would be using the construction materials, construction tools, and so on, to produce the outcome. And there are also team processes. These are human processes. What happens among people as they position themselves, as they distribute the tasks? These are universal. And these human processes enable the work processes. And this has been proven also. I wrote a thesis on developing the teamwork questionnaire where I walked through also the history and the concepts and the proof. So this was proven many, many times that these human processes, they do enable, they do help the work processes. And what are these human processes? The Teamwork Big Five model answering this question. And the origin of this model is Professor Salas and his team in the University of Florida. They looked into the literature and they wanted to create a universal model that kind of includes everything that we know is important for teams. And also answer the question, what is teamwork? And the Teamwork Big Five model has 5 main pillars, 5 core components. One is shared goals. So this is the processes around how people align around the goal. Coordination, how people distribute tasks and coordinate among each other. Then team spirit. Team spirit is that as we enter into the team, we give up some of our individuality for something bigger, something larger for the team, and to see the team as a system, something that is worth to do some sacrifices of our individuality. And then attention to results is to keep an eye on what is the team producing in terms of output, like the code and the construction material, and also how we are doing as a team to get feedback, to reflect on that. And adaptability is based on this feedback, compare it to our goals. We adjust what we do as individuals and as what we do together. And these 5 interlinked components is the definition of teamwork. So this is the main kind of work of Professor Salas, and he also found that there are 3 conditions that kind of enable or help this teamwork. And one is psychological safety, another is effective communication, and the third is the individual motivation, that the individuals are motivated themselves to work for the team. Now, Professor Salas used different words, and actually, this is an iteration of their model of 2005. My work was to translate that academic model to the business world and to update it. I developed this published it in 2023. So this is business-friendly terminology and an updated model. And it's a big question. How is it with hybrid or remote teams? And actually, this was my thesis in People Analytics in 2023 to analyze and make a literature review and research about virtual teams. What the researchers found that virtual teams are most and foremost are teams. So all those principles, the Teamwork Big Five, the model with the enabling factors, also valid for the hybrid remote teams. However, there are 2 more things that are very often appear. One is organizational support, and one is coping with remote conditions. These 2 are actually this coping with conditions like resilience, could be also part of the normal model, and organizational support is also important. However, when it comes to hybrid remote teams, these things become much more important. So hybrid remote teams, they are teams with some special challenges. About the TBFQ and TBFQ for hybrid and remote teams, it's a formative model, which means that the individual questions are the most important. They are more important than these 5, 8, or in case of the hybrid teams for than the 10 themes. So the 45 indicators and the 60 in case of the hybrid teams are the most important ingredients of teamwork. And in our tool, you can add custom questions. The tools are multilingual, English, Chinese, German, and other languages as well. And it is comprehensive, yet people can complete it in 5 to 10 minutes. And our system also supports benchmarking and data export. So the advantage of this is it's a result of an evolution. So we had earlier tools as well that been evolved into what we have today. Then it has a solid, robust academic base, and it also has innovations. One is the iterated model, the big five. One is the indicators themselves and the question format. And the tool have been developed and validated according to academic standards. There's a publication about the entire process and the data and the different versions, how they evolved. We have also resources for people who work with teams. So the format and how the questionnaire looks is here you see there's a question. How well is the team doing in the following areas? And then you see these indicators, 45 or 60. So, for example, proactively informing each other about accomplishment, difficulties, and delays we encounter. And people can choose between big improvement needed, some improvement needed, neither good or bad, good, excellent. So, if you see this and compare with many other questionnaires, usually questionnaires have an item like we inform each other proactively. And then you agree or disagree with this item. But actually not, this is not how we converse. If you make an interview with somebody, it's not like you're saying statements and the other is saying how they disagree with the statement or not. So this format is much more conversational. It's closer how we actually really talk or make an interview. And this questioning format, as simple as it seems, actually it's not a standard Likert type item questions. These anchors are innovative. There's a big kind of data bank of the anchors that people use for Likert type items. This is not part of it. And I have proven that this format of questioning is working very well. This was also part of my thesis. And the development and validation had a very interesting stage. The subject matter expert feedback. So when I completed the first version of the work, I reached out to 10 subject matter experts. This is about their background. So all of them were senior consultants. 4 of them have been working in corporations in HR. 9 of them had OD experience. And every one of them has been working also as a team leader. And 3 of them were PhDs. And they very kindly supported my work, and some of them wrote a lot, and we had extensive discussions, and their knowledge and input helped also a lot to have the question that we have today. And in the validation study, 46 teams participated, and this is the address of the publication. And the resources, so beyond these assessments, Auditus offers slides for facilitators, facilitators guide, exercise slides, team leaders guide, some special knowledge and tips for the team leader because their role is a bit special in the team development process. And also improvement action examples for every question. Okay, if this is low, what can you do typically? We don't want to give this solution like this is you have to do to prescribe, because the reflection and conversation about the item is the most important. But we can help this brainstorming with providing some best practices. And about this program, I show rather this picture that it consists of workshops, and teams do workshops, right? However, these workshops have a structure. They use an approach, and these modules are building on each other and interlinked. And it starts with the STEAM assessment, then there are workshops, and there are also other kind of task interventions. So the teams have work out action plans, they work on their team charter, and they implement these action plans, and we follow them through the workshops. And so from a fragmented piecemeal kind of one at a time team building, this can be a game changer towards a systematic development, which is data driven. It starts with an assessment, and you can also measure the impact with a follow-up assessment after a year or period of time. And if you are an OD tools user, then you can use other assessments along this journey that will help this process. So the benefits to facilitators is basically that the facilitators can focus on working with the people to do their magic, to make the message emotional, to engage. And they have to work less on creating slides and concepts and improvising content, because we have a lot. Yes, you need to customize it, but it's much easier to customize something than start from scratch. This way, the work of team coaches and team development trainers and consultants and the HR themselves is elevated from a employee benefit to a strategic work that delivers measurable value. So it can be a game changer. And also for companies, there are benefits because they can move from a fragmented team building approach to something systematic and strategic. Because in real life, very often the HR is searching for something that is fun, we haven't done before, but the team has done many things. Oh, so what should be next? And instead of looking for these exotic things, they will have a long-term program. And the other beauty is if the client is big, this is an approach that can scale because the specific conversations will be different in every team. But this framework, the approach, can apply to all of them. And this way, a company can introduce a universal language among those teams. And it can bring the people to the same page across teams. So to sum it up in a mathematical formula, this would be it, that if you use assessment and reflections and discussions based on this assessment and report, then you have a more effective team development. And I want to show an example. This is about a team, their TBFQ result. The team has 10 people. Here you can see. They made the survey at the summer last year. The situation is this is a hybrid team and a global team, people from US, Europe mostly. And their work is around compliance, sustainability, a lot of legality, many people with law and legal backgrounds. And they had a new team leader and a couple of new team members. And they had already one off-site or on-site team building when everybody came together. And this was after that because the new team leader felt the need to do more in team development. So let's see their results. And you can also see how the report is, what does the report have? This is some general introductions, and then the results by themes. And this already shows that something around goals, right? Quite a lot of red. It's very simple, like traffic light. Green means good. People say this is good or excellent. And red means significant improvement or some improvement needed. Simple as that. And yellow, neither good nor bad, but also not so relevant. And with goals, we can see that there's lots of red. So work needs to be around goals. There's something about coordination, also some team spirit things. But for example, creating a friendly and collaborative team atmosphere, 90%, which is 10 people, so 9 people were highly agreeing with this. But about fault lines, they're already 50-50. So in every area, we can pinpoint the issues. For example, listening when it comes to communication, in-depth discussions and debates and so on. So we see the issues, and to make it easy to work with, the report and highlights the highest scores. So for example, addressing problems that arise in a timely manner, 100%. Like, the team is excellent in this area. But if we go to the lowest scores, then we see, for example, communication standards, clearly defined team goals, in-depth discussions and debates, having a shared understanding how to achieve the team's goals. And interestingly, the team leader, when first time saw the results, was surprised. Because as a new leader, I introduced the goals. The goals should be very clear. But it was not clear for everybody. So this is also one of the advantages of using a survey like this, that it can bring you insights that you did not expect. Like in this case, that we need to work on goals. And just another example, just to highlight this. So I was involved only with this survey and then presenting the results. And in the workshop, when I presented the results, it was a virtual workshop, we did a heat map. So people put votes, dots, red dots, on the area that they see the highest priorities, because everybody had 8 dots. And it was very clear that the items related to goals had like a cloud of dots. And then the team leader was convinced that actually it is true. And this is really where we need to do more, because it's maybe they announced the goals, but what does it mean on the operational level? How will it turn into KPIs? How will it link to everybody's work? How will it be evaluated? And so on. Probably more work needs to be done. So this is how the report looks. This was an example, and I want to give it back to some questions and remarks. So how did it sound to you? Was anything interesting, insightful, or do you have questions?
Gabor, I think Chin shared something in the chat box on the what is it? Core team benchmarks. So if you could take a look and give a comment.
If there's a specific question, happy to hear. This looks like quite a lot of information
So,
to react to it quickly. Yes.
okay, I'm sorry, because in Vietnam, I already do teamwork for one team, and because of in Vietnam market, the team development, team effectiveness survey is like the nurture. almost nurture, so that the people here or the organization here is not familiar with less than OD map. OD map engagement is better than, right? But I just found that about I just searching on the Gemini and Google about how is there any global report about just for team or team effectiveness, right? So I just think um, about an idea. So I capture the screen to send to all of you, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it's a big chance for us to do it, right? So of course, every people need to understand about the teamwork before a little bit in the technical and how to do it, right? So in my imagination and my vision that we can create some report every year, so we can announce that okay, here's some scale between in Vietnam, in China, in Hungary, in England, and in Philippines also, in Germany also. So that's very interesting activity for us to share all in like in the inside. That's very interesting for that. That's just an idea. Correct.
Thank you, Chin. I'm with you. I understand, and it would be interesting to see, like, in general, which
Yes.
topics are highest, lowest, and we can also calculate correlations. I
Exactly.
didn't introduce this, but this tool is also a research tool because we have some overall evaluative questions and we can see which individual items correlate the most. So we could do a lot of research,
Right. Right.
but it should come from usage first and using with every team.
Yes.
And uh, actually, there is a benchmark itself for the team by which are the best items in the team and
Yes.
where do you see the most red in the team.
Mm.
And if there is an organization that they can compare different teams, for example, um, one team where we used the TBFQ, uh, an organization in infrastructure,
Mm.
and three teams participated. And I was working with the leader of the three teams, not with the team, the individual team leaders. And it was very obvious that two teams had high scores in many areas, and their total was high, and one team was had lower scores almost in everything, and the total score was much lower than the other two. And uh, the team leader said he's not surprised at all.
Yes.
So yes, when you can compare to others, that can be useful. And we support that technically. However, to have such a global benchmark, you need many teams that do this.
Yes.
And this is
And
our work
yes,
to
our
bring
work.
it to the world.
Right.
And just one more thought, because I wanted to announce this today, that what
Yes.
OD Tools is going to do, just what we've done with NQ, which
Yes.
was very helpful to make a promotion that will help pushing this. So as you know, that demo projects are always free. You can use our uh, system and credits for demo, and you will get those credits back. But
Right. Right.
I will share the promotion information with you people. Just a moment. So with that, officially announce the universal global promotion because the cost currently is 200 credits per team and 10 credits per member. And I will change it in the system. So globally for everybody, it will be half the price. which country where you are, this will be different in your currency and things like this. But the key is with this, basically, it will cost less than a team dinner.
Mm.
So we really want to make this very affordable and a good opportunity for all team coaches and for all of our users. Thanks for the question. Other comments, questions? Now we always advertise it till 45 minutes, and the core information is in these 45 minutes. However, we usually stay until for another 15 minutes if there are questions and interaction. So feel free to ask more questions and stay with us. Comments, questions, all are welcome.
Gabor, I just want to thank you for an informative session. Thank you.
Mhm.
I just wrote in the comments, what I like about the tool is how it helps build trust. And could you just correlate building trust elements in the model from a team working perspective, please?
Oh, yes. So in our own data, which was part of the validation, so 46 teams, more than 300 people, and I looked at what correlates mostly with the outcomes like team productivity. We measure this as well, and the experience of team members. And the number one was psychological safety, so trust. And in our program, I recommend to work through the Teamwork Big Five according to this model.
Yes.
Start with shared goals, coordination, attention, and so on. Work through one by one. However, if there is an urgent need, you can jump there and you can start there. But with psychological safety, I would say I would not start with that one, because this is something that is much better to be experienced than to be preached. People should have the experience first and then the concept. And all of the workshops or everything that you do is going to increase this. And the survey itself is also a tool for building trust, because it's bringing people to the same page, creating the same language and the same understanding about what makes a team good. Because these indicators, these elements, I go back to these elements, especially as it's in our model, it's not only an assessment, but it is a recipe of teamwork, of effective teamwork. Everything you need is there. And once people go through the questionnaire and the report, they have this shared understanding. Their mental model is aligned. What does it take to have an effective team? This is one big thing. And the other is they see the team as a system. Not just like, oh, I'm part of this team, which means that there is me and a few people, I work a lot and I have good relationships. So this kind of personal view will be transformed into, I see the team as a system, and we as individuals, we are part of it. But this survey also helps to make that shift of team awareness. Thanks for the question. Yes. Other remarks? What was interesting? What questions do you have?
Okay. So I am very interested about the Teamwork Big Five after this seminar. So I think I have the way to do how to develop it in Vietnam market this time because of last time I do with the some team just one team, but people feel that okay, a little bit similar with the engagement, a little bit similar with the so OD map also, so that is hard to. Okay, right now I found that the model is different. The second one, we can create some demo for some company to do a report, a set report to do benchmarking between team and team, between company and company. So that is easier. Thank you, Gaba.
Welcome. I'm so happy that this session helped you to see teams as important and different as an important level of working with an organization, because we have the OD map on with the entire organization, and we work with individuals, but actually this mid layer,
mid layer, exactly,
is also very important, and it is different.
Right.
It deserves to approach it
yes.
with a specific tool.
Yeah. I also hope that if is there any distributor do the teamwork with Fi, we can collaborate each other to see how is the insight, how is the some indicator we can share together, share each other, so that we have the more insight, more confident to do. Right. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, remarks?
Hey, Gabor, this is Amar from India. Thank you so much for sharing these details. It was indeed a wonderful presentation. I think the teamwork, this particular model would be an excellent tool come workshop for the management and development program. That's really is going to add tremendous value to organizations, especially understanding, I would use the word diagnosing the team problems and giving them a clear-cut guidelines on how to resolve the challenges they face within the team. So I truly believe I'm a great fan of Tray Map, as you know that. But this teamwork, I'm sure this is going to be another benchmark model. This is really nice. I'm so happy to be part of this.
Thank you for the remark, especially because the predecessor, the Team SWOT, which was an earlier product, was also used in India. So probably there is also an openness and acceptance of this concept there as well.
Gabor, there is a song you want me to share with the others?
Yes. So for today, for this special occasion, we also prepared a song. And the idea is that all the tools we produce, instruments, and sometimes even the word diagnostic is also used, data-driven. Yes, there is a science of teamwork, there's a science of leadership. However, change happens at an emotional level. And as facilitators, as team coaches, we also need to provide emotional experiences for people. Something that is not only tapping into the logic of one side of the brain, whichever it is, but also captures the full person. And to highlight this principle, we are going to play a song, which is a summary of the Teamwork Big Five model. You can recognize in the lyrics the 5 core pillars, the 5 core components, and the enabling factors. And hopefully it will close the event on a high note. So Yuichi, if you can, please play the song. Step across the threshold, like an one. It is what we have to bring on each and every one. 5 core pillars keep your mission on track. Goal, spirit, coordination, we got your back. Monitor the results and adapt to the flow. That's how high-performing teams start to grow.
Checks and reflections help vision stay clear. Celebrate progress, everyone cheers. One step forward and leave old doubts behind. With a team, big five new heights we'll find. Take the TBFQ, it's scientific and fast. 45 indicators, a report built to last. Safety, communication, motivation's the key. The enabling factors for you and for me. Use the teamwork big five and watch your team rise. Systematic development right before your eyes. From the spark of the startup to the corporate halls, it answers with data when the mission calls. And for teams in the ether across the divide, the hybrid edition stands right by your side. You can be co-located or virtual remote. It keeps your effectiveness always afloat. Take the TBFQ, it's scientific and fast. 45 indicators, a report built to last. Safety, communication, motivation's the key. The enabling factors for you and for me. The enabling factors for you and for me.
And with that, thank you everyone for your attention. I wish you a lot of success. Enjoy using the TBFQ and helping teams. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Gabber. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
See you. See you.
See you.